Can you handle the giants? The return of Titanoboa and Kronosaurus. Imagine the largest snake ever to slither across the Earth's surface. Now pair it with a crocodile-like sea monster the size of a bus. Sounds like a plot from a creature feature horror flick, right? Well, what if I told you these beasts were real? And not just real, terrifyingly massive. Let's rewind millions of years before humans ever walked the planet, before the rise of civilization, before even the dinosaurs reached their golden age. Back then, the world was ruled by titans, colossal predators that reigned over both land and sea. Two of the most fearsome among them? The Titanoboa, an ancient serpent that dwarfs today's anaconda, and Kronosaurus, a marine reptile that could chomp down on anything unlucky enough to swim nearby. But what if they hadn't gone extinct? What if these monsters were still lurking in the swamps and oceans of our modern world? Could we survive? Or would humanity become just another link in their prehistoric food chain? Let's travel back in time to meet these creatures face to face, then fast forward to today and imagine what might happen if they returned. Meet Titanoboa, the super snake of the Paleocene. Roughly 58 million years ago, long after the asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs, Earth was hot literally. Steamy, dense jungles stretched across much of the planet, and in the shadowy wetlands of what is now Colombia, a predator slithered that would make any modern reptile look like a garden lizard. Titanoboa aeruginosus wasn't just a big snake, it was the largest predator on Earth at the time. Stretching up to 13 meters, 43 feet, in length and weighing over a ton, this monster was longer than two full-grown giraffes laid end to end. Its body was as thick as an oil drum, and its head alone could dwarf a human torso. If you think today's anaconda is a beast, Titanoboa would make it look like a pet python. Its bite wasn't venomous, it didn't need to be. Titanoboa was a constrictor, crushing its prey with a deadly embrace that could exert a force of 400 pounds per square inch. That's strong enough to snap bones like twigs and stop hearts before the animal even had a chance to struggle. Its primary diet? Large fish, prehistoric ones, thick-scaled and powerful, but still no match for the boa's deadly coils. Occasionally, it might have indulged in crocodilian snacks too. Paleontologists believe it may have prowled the dense swamp floors or floated silently beneath the water's surface like a nightmarish submarine, waiting to ambush anything unfortunate enough to come too close. Enter Kronosaurus, terror of the ancient oceans. While Titanoboa ruled the rivers, Kronosaurus dominated the deep blue. Named after the Greek god Kronos, who famously devoured his own children, Kronosaurus lived up to the myth in every toothy way. Living around 100 million years ago, this marine reptile wasn't a dinosaur, but a pliosaur, a group of short-necked, powerful swimmers with enormous jaws. It measured more than 10 meters, 33 feet, in length and weighed around 12 tons, roughly the size of a school bus with teeth. With 4 massive flippers and a barrel-like body, Kronosaurus was built for burst speed, launching out of the water to snatch prey in a flash. Its jaws were filled with conical teeth as sharp as steak knives and capable of crushing bone. Prehistoric turtles, ichthyosaurs, and unlucky fish had no chance. The ocean was his buffet, and Kronosaurus didn't like to share. Despite their similarities in ferocity, Kronosaurus and Titanoboa never crossed paths. They lived in different geological eras, separated by tens of millions of years, and roamed vastly different climates. Kronosaurus hunted in cooler southern seas, while Titanoboa slithered through steamy tropical forests. But if we were to resurrect them today, what if they lived among us? Imagine a modern Earth where Titanoboa still prowls the Amazon and Kronosaurus haunts the depths of our oceans. Would they adapt? Would they thrive? Would we survive? Let's say Titanoboa somehow survived in the untouched jungles of South America, Colombia, Brazil, Ecuador, maybe even Panama. These humid tropical environments would suit its cold-blooded body perfectly. But here's the kicker. Our cities, homes, and highways now invade the forests where it would once have roamed freely. To keep people safe, we'd need to take extreme measures. Imagine electric fences around towns, infrared sensors, and automated alerts warning of a serpent on the loose. And still, it might not be enough. With its immense strength, Titanoboa could crash through doors, windows, even brick walls. Luckily, snakes don't typically seek out humans, but then again, we're not used to snakes of this size. Zoos and researchers would offer millions to capture a live specimen. Its skin would be prized beyond measure. A Titanoboa skin handbag? Hypothetically worth more than a private jet. Ethical dilemmas aside, the black market would explode. And what about Kronosaurus? Now that's a nightmare of oceanic proportions. You'd think twice before boarding a cruise. Fishing would become a high-risk profession. Beaches in certain regions might be permanently closed. With its voracious appetite, Kronosaurus could decimate fish populations, putting pressure on global seafood supplies. Worse, if it targeted marine mammals like dolphins or seals, or even humans, we might find entire coastlines declared off-limits. Military-grade submarines might track it. Some might call for its extermination. Others would call it sacred. But nature's balance would be upended. Could we survive these monsters? The short answer? Barely. We'd likely adapt, build defenses, even study them for scientific breakthroughs. Perhaps Titanoboa could help us understand genetic resilience. Maybe Kronosaurus would unlock new knowledge of aquatic physiology. But there's no doubt the world as we know it would be forever changed. And that's not even considering the environmental consequences. Just one Titanoboa could disrupt an entire food chain. And Kronosaurus? Its presence might collapse ecosystems. The last twist? Could they come back? Here's the mind-blowing part. Scientists don't rule it out. Fossils indicate that Titanoboa thrived in climates averaging 32 degrees Celsius, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And guess what? Thanks to climate change, some parts of the planet are rapidly approaching those conditions again. Could a long-lost species like Titanoboa reemerge if we reach those environmental thresholds? Could a few preserved genes, lying dormant in fossil DNA, be pieced together through de-extinction biotechnology? The answer is still speculative, but not impossible. So maybe, just maybe, we haven't seen the last of Earth's ancient monsters.